Hello, greetings, and welcome to this panel, the Força Vegan Activist panel, with activists from all around the world. And you can see today we're joined by a number of vegan activists, all of whom have been contributing to the new magazine, Força Vegan, which is available online free. It's been out 2 issues now, and there's a 3rd issue in the pipeline. It focuses on activism from all around the world. It's got some fabulous people in it, some really good contributors. And we are very, very lucky to be joined today by a number of these contributors from around the globe. You can see on our screens. I'm going to just quickly go around and say hello, first of all, to Summer from Doha in Egypt. Hello, Summer. And there you go. There's a smile from Summer. We've just got a bit of a delay, I think, with Summer, so we'll see if we can get that. Hello?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Jenna, we'll come to you in a minute.
I'm
I
here.
wish you could say hello.
There is a bit of a delay. Yes, with the internet.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Summer, how you doing? You good? You good?
Yeah,
Okay,
all good.
We have a bit of a 10-second gap there, so we'll remember that. So we'll come to you in a minute, Summer. Tivai, say hello from Ghana.
Yes, Tiva here, and greetings to everyone. It's good to be here and to see all these wonderful activists. I'm really grateful to be part of this global Veg Fest. Really grateful.
Thanks, Tivai. And we're going to come to Tivai in a minute to hear all about his wonderful festivals in Ghana, the vegan festivals. Simo from Morocco.
Hi, everyone. I would like to say to thank you for this opportunity to invite me this panel with great speakers around the world. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simo, and we're going to get an update of your new festival too, which is really exciting. I've just heard about it. We're going to hear about that in a minute. And Nella from Athens.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Tim. It's really nice to be here.
That was the lion. I could hear the lion in the background.
No.
Benny, that's your lion, is it? Tell us that's not your lion.
No lions here.
Sure.
Happy to be representing the UK.
Where are you coming from, Benny? Tell us where you're speaking from.
Ellesmere Port, and it's in between Liverpool and Chester in England.
Most fabulous part of the world, if ever there was. There's some extremely amazing football teams, or at least one football team from that part of the world. And lastly, Roger, joining us from Dublin, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just counting down the 10-second delay. Hang on. How is everyone? It's great to be here. So we want to start off by mentioning Mel Broughton, don't we, Tim?
Yeah, this is a vegan activist panel, and we are doing this all weekend, Global Veg Fest, and even tomorrow we had a session on at 4 o'clock, 5:30 actually, involving a very good friend of ours, staunch animal rights activist spanning 4 or 5 decades, Mel Broughton. Mel has been, unfortunately, in a pretty horrific accident today involving when he was out sabbing. There's some bad injuries, unfortunately, and we don't know the details yet so much, but Mel's been assaulted by hunters before, seriously injured. Unfortunately, he's been assaulted again just a matter of hours ago. But perhaps reminding us of just what's on the line sometimes for dedicated activists, but we wish him well, Mel. He's made a strong stuff. He recovered well last time, and I'm sure we'll all join in wishing Mel a very speedy recovery, whilst acknowledging his bravery and dedication to standing up for the rights of animals. Yeah. Jenna.
Yes, I'm here.
Now, you have some really
Yeah.
exciting news. We've been following you. I'd like you to tell us, first of all, a bit where you are, what you're doing, and then this amazing new project that you have brought to existence.
Okay. So first of all, I'm really happy being here and meeting all of you. This is really a pleasure to be here today. And mainly, I've been vegan for 5 years, mainly for ethical reasons. And then I decided to benefit myself following a healthy vegan diet. And then I decided why doesn't it go viral with everyone? So I got involved with healthy eating and healthy cooking. Then I worked in a restaurant here in Dahab for more than 2 years. I learned more about healthy living and healthy food. And since I don't work there anymore because the restaurant is closed, I decided to start something. So mainly I'm starting something new. It's been there for a week. Vegan Zania. This is my brand now, and I'm giving people healthy vegan food. And I helped so many people to reverse their insulin resistance and their diabetes through plant-based diet, because I've been researching a lot into nutrition along with the human and animal rights thing. So now many people are actually changing their mind about vegan diet and healthy living, because most people think that healthy living means meat and dairy and all of this, but now I'm telling them that this is why most people have insulin resistance.
So, you've opened a new restaurant, Vegan Zaya and Daiha in Egypt, and you've been open, what, like 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the restaurant. What's the food? What's happening? What sort of people are coming in? What's the feedback like? And what's it like now running a new restaurant coming out of COVID? Must be quite challenging, huh?
Of course, during the COVID, it's very challenging.
Tell us about the food a bit,
Yeah.
Summer.
Okay,
What's the food
so
like?
mainly now okay, so it's mainly now about breakfast. So I do for hours. I serve a vegan breakfast. It's mainly salads and smoothies, sugar and oil-free desserts, some wraps, and I'm introducing people to vegan cheese that I make at home, and they seem to like it because the feedback is really good. People seem to like the food, and they are fascinated with the chickpea omelette. And most of them are following healthy diets, not mainly vegan but healthy. So when they count their calories, the protein intake, and all, they're happy because they can get 20 to 25 grams of protein from the chickpea omelette. This is mainly their feedback. And that sounds really fascinating to many people who are more interested in healthy living, like counting their intake from food. So I'm keen on like helping people with their diet and helping them reverse their habits. So through the food also, I'm introducing them to unique salads, because my favorite salad is the monk salad. This is a Lebanese dish, and I have other salads that the figs and dates are involved. For many people, that's very unique to them, to see a lot of elements in a salad, like vegetables, nuts, and even fruits mixed together in a bowl. So and now I'm like, yeah, this is how vegans make salad, and they seem to be really happy about it. Like, few people now tell us, like, if you told us 1 week before that we are going to have a salad on breakfast and get really full and satisfied for the rest of the day, we would have said this is a lie. But now it's working. So I'm really happy that people started to give themselves the opportunity to experience something new. And during the COVID, of course, many people are more interested in changing their habits. And now, since we have more airlines open to Egypt, I am seeing more tourists around, and they're either vegan or interested in changing their habits, which is a little bit more challenging during the COVID, because I can hear a lot of things about the diet and COVID and all of this. So I think people are done with talking. So I want to give them something to experience, something new, and see how it works.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Summer. That's really, really interesting. And I think we all wish you really good luck with this venture. It's such a incredible way to help people, initiate change, make transition. It's fun, it's supportive, community, people coming together, different cultures, different heritages, different politics, different religions, coming together in a healthy, wholesome, plant-based food that doesn't use animals. It's just well done. Thank you.
Tim, can I have a question for Summer?
Yeah.
Could you explain us about the name Vegasia, or story behind the name?
Oh, okay, the name is Vegan Zania. So Zania could be a zone, so it's the vegan zone, and it's also, it might sound like Tanzania and lasagna. So it's more related to, for me, I mean, it's more related to nice tropical places like Tanzania, and it sounds a little bit edible when you relate it to lasagna. But for me, it's the vegan zone.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. Simon, you've unmuted. You're going to come and tell us now about your new festival, which is Veg Fest Morocco, which is like coming online end of this year.
Yes,
What's
sure.
up? What's happening?
Okay.
Oh.
So after we have been choose the best event international award by VegFest UK last years, we have been obligated to continue to do better. To we need to do more. So we have already started working on bigger thing for the next events. We decided to, for example, last year we focused to Arab country, MENA region for the first day. So, but for this edition, we will focus just for Africa, a day for African activists, because each of them has a different story. So we need to bring them, to collect them between, to talk about experience, to exchange. So this event will be in 2 days. First day just for African activists, and the second day will be international with the speaker around the world. So maybe we'll be in the first weekend in November. So, but we have big news. So last year's or all of previous edition, we don't have any support financial because I do that just for my own money. So that, but this edition will be accepted by VEG Fund to support us for this event. This is a great news for us. So, but this it's special for us. We will just honoring a personality who she give a lot of things her life to animal service. She is she give a lot of things to in Africa. So she is Jane Goddard to be with us in this event. So so Jane Goddard accept to be with us in this event. So but we will also honoring Africans activists. So to hear their voice international, because lots of vegan activists make lots of work. For example, in Uganda, I think have a team soccer. All of them is vegan, so it's good news to invite them to talk about this their experience. So events as will be in November. So that's it. We are open for any suggestion or collaboration with any NGO. We are ready to accept them. So the events just a process. So we'll be collaborate with anything. So if you have any idea or suggestion or something like that, we are open for that.
Hey, thank you so much. That is really good. And I can say I was honoured to participate in the Global Veg Fest Morocco last year online, last July. And that was an inspiration in part for this very event. So watching what you did and achieved and all the wonderful people all over the world, but especially in Africa. And Tiva, you are indeed in Ghana. That's right. And
yes, I am.
You do these amazing festivals. I've been watching your festivals. We did a report in Força Vegan issue 2, which is available free online. So if you want to read about Tiva's previous events, that's amazing. Oh. But Tiva, tell us now, you've got more events coming up, right?
Yes, precisely. If you would allow me to introduce myself, my name is Do Nyamadi, and I'm popularly called Tivai, and I am an animal rights activist. I'm a vegan, an environmentalist, and a health advocate. Professionally, I am an osteopath, and I practice here as a clinician. I have been inspired for so many years to inspire people to go vegan. And by so doing, in 2016, the Vibrant Vegan Society of Ghana was formed to raise awareness about veganism and to introduce people to the lifestyle that is, that everyone in the world is trying to adopt. So after the registration of the society, we then went on to start events. So we decided to hold monthly events, not meetings, rather monthly events, to be more consistent, and then invite non-vegans. Our main core mandate, was to bring on board a lot of non-vegans so that we can spread the message of veganism to them. If you watch my status, or if you watch our Facebook pages, you realize that what people around here call animal bias. I mostly post about animals rather than vegan meals because I am more passionate about the animal liberation. And not to say that the vegan diet is not important in this area, but I will try my best and start working on that. So we've organized monthly events, and we've invited a lot of resource people who are so good in their areas, and if I have spoken about animal rights. I mean, other speakers have done justice to health, vegan health, and the like. And then, so fast forward, in March this year, we organized a mini expo, a vegan mini expo, which had a lot of people coming on board. Although COVID-19 in our country, the regulation states that you should only have close to 100 people at every event, but I had a few. I had more than 100. I could remember, and then we had to bring on board a lot of vendors to vegan vendors. Let me say to vend at the program.
Oh, I think we just lost Tivi briefly from Ghana. It's just telling us about his wonderful events that he's doing in Ghana, the Vibrant Vegan Society of Ghana. Absolutely, really, full of passion and such like. Interesting that Tivi was mentioning that he's an animal liberationist. And the kind of vegan food comes second, whereas I think Simo is vegan food is the thing that sort of comes first. And animal liberation is quite tough, but so look, we've lost Tivi for a little bit, but we'll get Tivi back. That's fine. Nella, I'm going to come to you in Athens. Now I know that since you've been with us in Força Vegan this year, first of all, you've had a shocking government actions last spring, and then in the summer, some horrendous fire issues. So,
yes.
First of all, my condolences really for all the people in.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. We had a very difficult summer, very hot, very dry, with wildfires all over the country raging for weeks. And this was an unprecedented catastrophe. The habitat destruction is unimaginable. Thousands of other animals have died horrible deaths. Individuals exploited for their flesh, free living beings, cats, dogs, horses, no one was spared. So as you can imagine, most activists were involved in related actions like helping other animals evacuate when the fire was approaching, or doing search and rescue after the fire to locate injured individuals, or even taking food and water to the areas neighboring the affected ones, just to make the first few days a little bit easier. So it was hellish, and on top of this, you had the media reporting that thankfully we didn't have any victims, which was very frustrating. It was what you heard everywhere, like if you are not human, you cannot possibly be a victim of a natural disaster. So we've been back to our outreach events, not very regularly because of everything else happening during the summer.
So you're not quite getting back to events yet. There's still, some. It must be that collective trauma, really. I mean, I saw the fires on TV. I mean, I grew up around there. I remember those forests, especially in the island of Evia, and that was just, Do you think with COVID and with the politics too? I mean, you've got tough government, police.
Oh yes.
Crackdown on protests. It's not a easy climate before the fires.
No, it was not, and I mean, there was a lot of violence. There was police brutality during protests that were not related to animal rights, but doesn't matter. They were important protests. So the climate is not very good, and we've been collectively mourning. But on a brighter note, the Athens Vegan Life Festival is back for the first time after COVID on the 2nd and 3rd of October. And the organizers and the volunteers do a great job every year. So we're looking forward to that, and we feel that it's going to, make us feel a little better, cheer us up a little.
That's brilliant. No, I'm pretty sure that the people who organised, the vegan events in Athens, they came to a London event 5 years ago. I met a guy from Greece, his partner. They were organising the Greek events, and really inspiring, thanks, Nana. We're going to drop back to Tivai. I think Tivai, you're back on board. Are we restored? You were just telling us about the new events and such like in Ghana.
Yes, thank you, and I apologize for the
Oh.
Well, yeah. So there was yes. So aside the main attendees to see how animals are going through a lot of torture and cruelty. So we coupled it with a lot of entertainment, free vegan meals to share. We gave out free tree seedlings.
Okay, so just the wonders of the wonderful world of internet connections around the world. Pretty amazing that we're able to link up with everyone. So we'll try and get back to Tivai in a minute. Benny is sitting patiently with his lion under there. I can hear, we've been hearing the lion growling a few times. So Benny, do you want to tell us first of all, what is all this lion bit about? That must be some kind of in-joke reference. What's the lion symbol?
Yeah, so the cover of my book, it featured a lion on. I thought lions, though, is what we call the argument that tends to come up, where people will say, what about lions, though? Generally as, don't other animals eat other animals? And so it's a bit of an in-joke to have it on the cover. And it's, a bit of a wink at vegans who will get it. And then when people have read the book as well, they'll probably get the reference then. But basically, we can't derive our morality from what other animals do. And in the book, I explain how it's cherry picking certain behavior of animals to justify human behavior. So it's also a fallacy. There she is.
And that's the lion reference. And indeed, if you open up the whole book, you can see there is the lion. And Benny, you are not a lion. We have established that, but you do have some really interesting things in this book. I'll just explain. This book is written by Benny. It came out earlier this year, and it's a fabulous collection of what you find people arguing for all those reasons to go vegan, or not go vegan rather. and there's this, tell us about, my favourite is, this, but what on earth is gish galloping? What's the gish galloping?
So a gish gallop came from a fella called Duane Gish, and he's an opponent of evolution. So he became quite notorious for kind of scattergunning arguments, where he would just come out with 20 arguments, one after the other, and really try and just overwhelm his opponents. So even though he'd be talking to scientists who obviously knew what they were talking about, he would just come out with these arguments one after the other and not really give them a chance to refute them. So it's a tactic really, rather than genuine attempts to understand or learn anything. It'd be like me just asking you question after question, and then if you can't respond quick enough, then I claim victory. So the scientist that noticed he was doing this named it after him basically and called it the Gish Gallop.
So there you have it, the Gish Gallop, which is one of many terms that you'll find in this book. And Benny, I do think this book is really helpful for people. My suggestion, which I'm going to put to you, is that we should do a simplified version and translate it into 40 different languages to help people all over the world with some of the simple, basic kind of, challenges, if you like, to why you should go vegan, or why you should perhaps get a plant-based diet going. So there you go. That's what I'm proposing, that you might we'll come up with a new one, like, which a bit. I mean, if you remember, the vegan site used to have a passport, a vegan passport, which is basically a guide to the main ways of asking for, meal without cheese and eggs and such like in 40 or 50 different languages. So there you go.
It's funny you should say that, because I was thinking of doing a more edited version, with more focused towards activists. So somebody you could actually take with you when you're on activists talks and things, and more of a easier to refer to, because this one is 264 pages. So I was thinking get it down to about 100 pages and really just deal with the frequently asked questions, because this book kind of gives a bit more of a background to the psychology as well and other things we come across, like the tactics and everything. So it's more of a total debate guide, and then it goes into depth on some arguments. So I think it could definitely do a more condensed version, and that's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it is really useful, and it's great, and it's a rights-based. I mean, you're a regular rights-based advocate, aren't you? Animals have a right not to be used and not our property. That's your position, and the nice thing I think about this book is I find it really useful. I've read some of it, not all of it, but when you are arguing with people who do not recognise animals as persons, but they treat animals as property and commodify them, it's really helped me with my own process. And I think when you can really deal with something quite complex, it also helps it make it easier to make something quite simple. And,
I think now I've started saying, especially on social media, just to make sure people are on the same page when we're talking about veganism, because some people will try and reduce it to a diet. So to kind of prevent that happening, I'll say in the first instance, that veganism is a position against the commodification of animals, and then the exploitation and the slaughter that results from that. And I think if you frame it like that from the outset, it kind of stops a lot of misunderstandings from the off, really. And I think you hit the nail on the head. The commodification is the main thing. Animals being treated as property is what is the root cause of everything, as well as speciesism, of course.
Nice one, Benny, and thanks for that. And if you haven't seen it, here it is again. I put it not upside down, and that's Benny Malone, How to Argue with Vegans. It's available somewhere or other. You can find it, I'm sure, if you Google it up. Benny will swap your book for a donation to an animal sanctuary, I think. So there you go. You can friend Benny on Facebook. And Roger, you've been sitting patiently top right there, pretending not to be listening to the football scores for the last 7 minutes, whilst you join us because I will be in a minute. joining us for the Força Vegan panel. You've been contributing from Dublin from a number of times for the Vegan Information Project. What's happening in Dublin then? What's the latest from the street in Dublin?
Well, Tim, I've not been listening to the football results. I've been all ears on this conversation, as you'd expect. Good luck, by the way, with translating Gish Galloping into 40 different languages, but that'll be quite good. In terms of Dublin, I think things are slowly getting around in the sense that lockdown was a bit more severe in the Republic than it was in, say, Britain, for example. And so I think we've been a bit slower to get out, but there's been some single issues continuing on. There's a campaign against greyhound racing. There's people trying to get hair coursing banned and this kind of stuff. In terms of the VIP, and we work alongside VEGO, which stands for Vegan Education on the Go, and they come out of this, which is the Back into Daylight Animal Sanctuary. And our work there on the street has been slowed down really because we rescued, about 6 weeks ago now, maybe a bit longer, we rescued 200 free-range hens, and they were in a real bad state. And so really, Declan, who runs the sanctuary, has not really been able to go back on the street yet because he's got so many problems with these hens. It was officially a free-range farm, but it was a real mess, really, to be honest. And we think that maybe the strain of birds that they were using was unusual in the sense that they're quite aggressive. So there's been a bit of a problem there. They're also laying an extraordinary number of eggs. Even now, you'd expect them to kind of, start to slow down. And another sanctuary took 15 of the 200, and they put the implants into them to stop them laying, and that didn't work. So there is a kind of aggressive strain of hens, it seems to be, that's being used. The actual day itself was really fascinating because there was some kids, the farmers' kids were there, but it was clear that they only kind of knew partially the story of their own farm type of thing. And so in Ireland, they call slaughterhouses factories. And so when one of our team told the kids what a factory was, the farmers were quite angry about it. And so it's really interesting, this kind of, because vegans often get told by farmers, oh, well, I'm a farmer, I know, I'm an expert. What do you know? Have you ever been on a farm? This kind of stuff. And yet for farmers' kids, they're often kept ignorant as well. So it was kind of fascinating on all kind of levels, this thing, but it has slowed us down in terms of getting back on the street, which is a bit unfortunate. But we've carried on doing online things, obviously, in the Animal Rights Show and stuff. So still busy, Tim, is the short answer.
Busy indeed. And Roger, busy at this show, Global Veg Fest. Roger is appearing on no less than, I think, 4 panels, which is pretty interesting, including a very dynamic and surprising for many people look this evening with Gary Francione and Philip Murphy and myself and yourself at Animal Rights Activism. That's going to be quite interesting because we're going to be looking at some single issues, Camp Beagle, and also
it's going to be like Pink Floyd reform, isn't it, Tim? That's what it's going to be like, isn't it?
The anti-vivisection protest, and also the Animal Rebellion. I've been doing a lot of, protests recently, activism in the UK, more with a climate justice focus, and then also the Sachs fur campaigns, which have been Sachs store in America, in New York City. There's been quite a lot of, sort of victories, as it were, for fur. But I'm sure that'll be really important. That's coming up later. And thanks for that, Roger, and good luck with the return to the streets. It's such important work. Basically, Roger, you run a vegan information point, which basically gives out in the street. People can come and talk to you about veganism, and you're again a rights-based activist.
Yeah,
an activist.
It was really designed to bring a lot of factors together, which normally are apart. So we had the information table, we had the videos, we had the goggles, we had the banners, and so we brought it all together essentially. and created a large event. You know, it's about visibility, really, I suppose.
Yeah. And best wishes to Declan and the Sanctuary too, and all those hands.
I shall pass them on.
Summer, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Summer. So we've got another 15 minutes or so. So we're going to go round and ask everybody just to also mention perhaps what some of your friends are up to, or some of, maybe the other really good things happening that you know about that you maybe want to give a mention to. I know you and I have a mutual friend, of course, Sheila, who's out, I don't know, in Mexico on a boat chefing for Sea Shepherd, I think is her usual, thing. So good shout out to all the Sea Shepherd crew and all of Sheila's friends. But yeah, Summer and then Tivai, Sima, I'll be asking you the same. Nella, Benny, Roger, a couple of great things that are happening that you wanted to mention. So yeah, Summer.
Of course, it was a great thing that I met Sheila about 3 years ago, and she taught me a lot about the food and the animals. And I saw her activism was Sea Shepherd, and she helped me really a lot. And when her restaurant closed, she actually helped. She kept helping me even after she left Egypt. And now I have this business because of her. She taught me a lot of recipes. Also, mainly everyone here in Dahab, they helped me a lot when I thought about starting something, and a lot of nice things that happened, and they were so unplanned. One also of my customers, I was walking in Dahab streets one night, and I was a bit depressed because of something that happened to my friend. And she told me that she knew about my friend, and she said, maybe you can start something. There is a place on the corner, and I know the owner. And she gave me the contact to the owner. I went and I met him, and I have this business now. I have this place, and I'm helping my friend out because we are working together. So that's mainly the nice people I met here, including Sheila. Sheila is above all.
That's fantastic. We wish you every success, and we will be following your updates. I'm sure you'll be, Força Vegan next issue deadline end of next week. So you have to hurry up, everybody. Yeah. End of the month at the most. So yeah. But yeah, we want to hear your news. We want to see the photos and the updates. And Summer, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
really
for being here.
Yeah, that's great. We'll surely meet again on another session.
Sure.
And Simo, you've got some really good projects too in Morocco too, and in North Africa that are going off too, huh?
So first of all, I want to ask Benny for if you want to help you to translate this book in Arabic. I have been experience. I can do that in voluntaries. It's with the pleasure to do that.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks for yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can talk to do that after.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So for this event will be in November, and I will invite Summer and Tiavi. It's already have invitation, especially Tiavi. So event will be international. I can invite a lot of speakers like founder of Anonymous for Voices, Seb Alex, for the Dr. Miles. So lots of speakers, famous speakers, will be with us in these projects. So, but this event is in English and maybe in French. So that's it.
Fabulous. That's fantastic. And if you want to send us a bit of a preview, the more we'll print it for you, we'll publish it, and we can tell people all about what you're doing and all the people you've got involved. So well done, Sino. Always an inspiration. We'll be following your activities and future issues. T-Vi. Oh, he went. Huh. Just see if we can get T-Vi. T-Vi. Hello?
Yes, I'm right here. Hello.
Oh, great. Welcome back.
Yes,
Hello.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Currently in Ghana, I and a few other activists are shooting what we call the African Vegan Story. And this is a documentary which features vegan activists and vegans all over the 16 regions of Ghana. So we are done with 2 regions, and it's amazing. The stories are so incredible, and you're going to love them. And so we even have a chief, a king, who is a vegan, who is even trying to encourage his townspeople to go vegan. And we had to go all the way to capture him. And then once we're done with this documentary, you're going to see that it's the African vegan story in a Ghanaian perspective. And so we hope other brothers are also going to emulate in due time. So in December, we wanted to organize a bigger fair, but due to financial constraint, we're just going to organize a food cooking demonstration with vegan nutrition. So we're going to be having some health professionals to talk to us who are vegans, to talk to us about vegan nutrition, and then we will be cooking together, and then we just connect and then chat. All the same, I would like to acknowledge a few. Majid Suhini is also a vegan activist. Martino is also another strong activist. So we have a lot going on.
That's so good. Oh, here he is.
Yeah. We have a lot going on. Just recently, we petitioned the police service, because apparently they introduced horses to be used to clamp down on criminals, and we had to petition them. So we are yet to meet, the head of the police service to speak to him about, why they need not to use animals for such services. Aside that, we also want to introduce the vegan school clubs. I started actually, but I had to stop because of financial constraints. But hopefully, we would revamp and get back more better and stronger. Yeah. So in a nutshell, we are doing a few stuffs aside, teaching people how to prepare vegan meals on Fridays, every Fridays. I mean, people who want to, non-vegans actually, who want to learn how to prepare Ghanaian traditional cuisines, the vegan way, we take them through, all these demonstrations. So we are doing stuffs bit by bit, and hopefully we collectively, will push the vegan agenda up there.
Fabulous, T-Vi. Absolutely brilliant work. Good luck to everyone. We have several of your colleagues in the next issue of Força Vegan, so there will be some really good representation there. Be really interesting, and we wish you absolutely the best. And will keep us posted, no doubt. Good luck with that.
Also,
too. It'll be really interesting.
Yeah.
Nella.
There is another. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay. There is another activist in Kenya who is also doing so well, Rahel.
Yes.
Yes, Rahel is doing amazingly well, and I'd like to commend her also, and other
Rahel
brothers from other.
We'll be in the next issue. We just
and Simo is also doing amazingly well.
Really? Yeah, I've had a look at what she's
good
doing
to
there.
see you.
Vegan Society of Kenya. It's a great
I know.
work. Thank you,
Great
T-Vi.
work. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to hear your news, and thank you for just sticking through that little bit of a hiccup with the connections. That's been brilliant.
Thank you. I'm grateful to join this wonderful panel.
So Nella? we're coming to you to say hello and to say, listen up, what's going on, what are some of your friends doing, what's going to be inspirational, and what's going to be the news.
I'm going to mention the activist groups at the north of the country, and especially Dream Dancers. During the last year, there have been protests organized in Athens because the government during COVID gave even more subsidies to fair farmers. So we've been protesting about that. We haven't been successful. But now a fair exhibition is organized at the north. So the activists at the north are organizing this protest outside the exhibition center, and hopefully activists from all over Greece will be there. Supposedly it will be a very big one. So this is an initiative from the groups at Thessaloniki, and the exhibition has been rescheduled for a few months later, and the protest too, of course. And we are just hoping, with fair being banned in so many countries, that this will happen here too. I mean, for the time being, the opposite is happening. The government is trying to resurrect a dying industry, and absolutely not caring for other animals.
Ella, I would like to ask you, if the government decided to ban fur, and so the Thessaloniki people, they had a success with making big news of how big would that be, like a fur victory? How would that feel in Greek animal rights, animal movement right now?
It wouldn't be really big because it's not animal liberation, and that's the dream and the goal for everyone. And it's only a single issue campaign. But if we manage to close down the farms, it would be a significant victory if we manage to change people's perspective about other animals in general. And in this town at the north, Kastoria, traditionally, the locals are involved in breeding other animals for their fur. So there has been even talk for creating a fur museum. Fur exhibitions. I mean, I have the feeling they're trying to capitalize on the fact that fur is banned in other European countries. So for the government, it's a business opportunity. And if we manage to stop that, and have even the media involved, we'll be able to talk about all kinds of animal exploitation, not just about the animals exploited for their fur. It won't be a huge victory, but it will be something.
That's really interesting. And that you mentioned too that maybe a ban in one country opens up the opportunity in another. This was mentioned earlier with our panel from North Africa and Asia that Simo was on. We had similar comments from our colleagues in Hong Kong and from Japan and from Pakistan about how a victory maybe in the West actually just translates into more business opportunities in developing countries. So I think, this is interesting, it's relevant, it's how we improve our activism, how we become better advocates. So it's difficult to challenge our own actions because we're so passionate, and we nearly always, it's volunteers, and it's difficult to step back a bit and look about how they improve. Nella, thank you. I'm going to come
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Καλησπέρα.
Παρακαλώ, Tim.
Benny, go ahead, la.
So I don't know if you're familiar with Clubhouse. It's a fairly new app this year. So I've started a show on that with my friend Louise Mead. So we go on that every Wednesday. The club is called Vegan Wednesday, which isn't like a, vegan on Monday type of thing. It's just because it happens on a Wednesday. So 8 p.m. UK time every week, we talk about all the news from the week that's vegan related or animal rights related. So we do a good news roundup, and then it's possible we might have some non-vegans come in, ask questions, or other vegans come in and I ask questions or tell us what's happening. Pretty much this kind of environment as well. It's easy going, welcoming into everyone. So that's every week on Clubhouse. I think it's really good practice for talking to people as well. I have entered a BBC podcast competition to see if we get a podcast going, but we'll see how that goes. But if not, anyway, I think we'll just start one anyway. So if the BBC want to fund it and everything, that's great. But if not, we'll probably do it anyway. I really doubt they'll want to upset too many people with a weekly vegan podcast. But I did say to them, there's no, we don't get any vegan news or vegan opinions that aren't filtered through that kind of lens where either vegans are being criticised or it's just animal agribusiness propaganda, basically. So I've kind of challenged them to have a proper vegan perspective. So that's what's going on, really. And I think the main protests that are happening at the moment is animal rebellion, which came from Extinction Rebellion. But I think they realised that they weren't covering enough on the animal agriculture side of it. So they branched out and started their own thing, Animal Rebellion. And they've been blockading a lot of places. They blockaded McDonald's and Arla, I think it was, the biggest dairy. So it's about disruption as well and raising awareness, really. So everyone's welcome to join Clubhouse at the moment.
Wicked Benny, thanks for that. And I should just mention Animal Rebellion is on next. No, I got that wrong. They're on at 5:30. No, I think I got that wrong. No, they are on at 5:30 BST later today. Animal Rebellion will be joining us, actually, Belle Jacobs and Leila Kassan, who's co-founder of Animal Rebellion. So that'll be, I think I got that right. That would be a really interesting talk. And then, followed by that, Roger and myself and Gary and Philip will be dissecting Animal Rebellion. And Nella, we will be dissecting the fur campaigns. And we will also be looking at the Camp Beagle, which is the vivisection campaigns. That'll be aiming to be supportive, though, because it's important that we respect how much work. And Nelly, you mentioned how much, the solidarity that a fur victory could bring to the animal movement in Greece. The opportunities that could open up is a topic that we will be probably discussing further. So just before we wrap up, we're just hitting our hour mark. We're just trying to keep it in our hour. Roger, just give us a quick say hello from a couple of other campaigns or people or initiatives that are apart from, of course, the Vegan Songstress is on tomorrow. Jennifer Faust has got some amazing material coming out, which Roger's been promoting. What else is going on, Roger?
Yeah, so let me just say that it's been really inspiring listening to all these things going on around the globe, which is really great. So thanks for everybody on the panel for filling us in on that. I'll check out the Clubhouse. Never heard of that app before, Benny. So the first thing I want to say is a couple of shout outs. One to Wendy McGovern's Thrive Vegan World podcast. Wendy with the unforgettable surname. Thrive Vegan World podcast gets some really interesting guests. Also, Carolyn Harris's podcast, which is called Always for Animal Rights. So those two are good. The Animal Rights Show, which I'm involved with, and so is Nella. The next show is on Monday at 6 o'clock British Irish time. And in terms of movement issues, Tim, I would say that it's interesting, isn't it, that we're going to come back to this, obviously, that vivisection is back in the spotlight. And I suppose really that nobody saw the consequence of veganism becoming the moral baseline of the movement, that veganism would be sidelined in the way it was. Because, I mean, when we came into the movement, probably more than anybody else on the panel, veganism, vivisection was the main campaign. So it's really interesting the fact that there's been that flip. And then the irony, I suppose, is that there's been a resurgence of interest in vivisection at the time of COVID. So, so all of that, but, certainly Camp Beagle and all that kind of stuff. But I just wonder at the, whether we're going to continue with some focus on vivisection now in a more greater extent than we have in the last, 15 years. Because it seems to have fizzled out. And now it's back, obviously. So that's me.
What's very interesting is we're seeing the hunt sabs this weekend from all over the country going to Camp Beagle, which is the anti-vivisection protest in the UK near Cambridgeshire. And this is following the Animal Rebellion solidarity with Camp Beagle at the Animal Rights March in London just last month. So we're seeing now, a real crossover of solidarity between different campaigns and groups in the UK, and a real strong voice for animals is emerging. On that note, I'm going to ask us all now to unmute and give ourselves all a wave and say goodbye and a quick few words. Summer, say hello, say goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Goodbye. We're leaving you tonight. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Tivai from Ghana. Thank you, Mohammed from Morocco. Thank you, Summer from Egypt. Thank you, Nella from Athens. Benny from Ellesmere Port, near
Ellesmere Port,
ever in the world. And Roger from Dublin. And myself from sunny Bristol. God bless you. Thank you. Goodbye. Good wishes. And let's keep going, people. Let's keep inspiring people to win this one for the animals. Nice one, people.